All right, let's do. Well, hello there. What the hell is this? You know what? Let's just get that out of here and talk about why critics got this movie wrong. Put on the trailer, come back after it, and let's talk about If, the new film by John Krasinski.
So does this make us partners?
Let's not get ahead of ourselves, shall we? Keith!
That's right. A movie that I've been waiting for the whole entire year. When I thought the trailers looked very, very good. Surprisingly, got pretty mixed Rotten Tomato reviews. I've seen some people calling it a great movie that makes them cry, and I've seen a lot of people saying it's unimaginative, lazy, boring, and just doing the same thing as we always see. And I'm somebody who probably leans more towards the former type review. I went into If on my birthday, no less, looking for just a good, fun time. And I'm happy to say Krasinski and team delivered that for me personally. I felt the story of If was something that I could connect to, something that I understood, was imaginative, was fun, had great comic, moments throughout, and just was a very just good time at the theater. There's been a lot of movies coming out lately, pretty much ever since Kung Fu Panda 4 this whole entire year, that have been either horror movies, that have been big actiony type movies, that's been, movies that are aiming for Oscars, movies that were dumped because they weren't great. And this is really the first one that connected to me as just a fun, simple family type film. And maybe because this is live action instead of being animated, critics came at this more harshly, but I had a blast. And when I say that Krasinski delivered a really enjoyable movie for me, I do mean that. The star of the movie is Kaylee Fleming playing Elizabeth, or as what we know her in the movie as B, a young, growing girl who is going a little bit through some toughness in life, is dealing with some family issues and trauma, and is trying to figure out, is she wanting to be a kid still? Does she still have that kid magic? Or is she going to just be more mellow and more just, I'm an adult now, don't treat me like I'm a kid? And while her transition from that like mellow, more serious angle to more of the whimsical and kid like angle maybe went a little too quickly, and why this isn't a perfect movie, and why I can see if you're a critic and you're looking to tear things to shreds, you can probably tear some of that to shreds here. But I loved once B gives into this imaginative world and goes into it, you really love her character and her journey and what it means. The connection she has to anybody around her, I think, just works very, very well. And Fleming just does a great overall job in this role, fleshing it out. She isn't overpowered by Ryan Reynolds, who plays Cal, an individual who's looking to find retired ifs homes or a meaning in life now that their kids have grown up and become adults. I think their chemistry together worked very well, and I think most people, when you see Ryan Reynolds now, whether it be Deadpool, whether it be Free Guy, you kind of expect him to push through and dominate the comedic tone of the movie. And while he definitely steals scenes and he's definitely a great supportive character, the film never loses focus on B being the star, B being the main character we're following in this film and her personal journey. Now, all the ifs on the side are voiced by a lot of great individuals, and I honestly go ahead and look at the cast list on your own. I loved a lot of these ifs performances and the little gimmicks they had. That worked great for me. Again, some people may call that lazy and unimaginative, but it worked for me. I thought it was pretty imaginative, and I think especially once Cal takes B to this retirement home type place, without doing spoilers, there's like a big imaginative set piece, and even like another one later on that I just think is the essence of this movie and works so, so well. And when I just think of things I want to see in movies, or sometimes what I want to experience, I'm not always looking for a groundbreaking film. I'm not always looking for a film that I'm just like, perfection. I'm just looking for fun sometimes. And the If, for me, was fun. Again, part of me wonders if this was an animated movie all the way through and you stuck on that Pixar logo, if critics wouldn't come back and give this a high 80%. I predict this weekend when people go to see it in theaters, I wouldn't be surprised to see this get a low 90s, maybe even mid 90s type audience review because the crowd around me was pleased. They laughed at the jokes. They definitely got hit by the heartwarming and heart emotional moments that even I even got to. I cried in this movie. I'm not going to lie. There's a thread that goes through and the performance Fleming brings on as B in that worked on me very, very hard. And even the voice actors of some of these ifs, again, like Steve Carell as Blue that we've seen in the trailers, works very, very good throughout the whole entire movie. Fiona Shaw as B's grandmother was interesting at the first part. I thought she was kind of like a nothingly written character, but then she gets a really great moment in the movie. Overall, If was a blast, and I am so perplexed on why I'm seeing so many negative reviews and people calling it unimaginative, people calling it boring and plain, people calling it not daring. Why are we criticizing a movie for just being a fun family flick? And I would recommend to anybody who's thinking about going to see this movie this weekend, especially if you're with, have some young ones and you're looking for a nice time out for the family, go see If. I think your kids will have a blast. I think you'll have a blast. It has adult type humor. It has kids humor throughout. It's a good story overall. It gets a big stamp of approval from me. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and give If a solid platinum rating. I was thinking about maybe doing in diamond. That's how much I was liking this movie. But I have to acknowledge there's some faults in the writing and some stuff. But I'm still going to recommend it to people. It's still a movie I hope people go see in theaters. I am to the point now where when I hear people complain about why is there nothing original in theaters, I'm just like, you're the problem. Because when you get original movies, you don't go to them. You complain that you don't get them, but when studios take a chance, obviously John Krasinski with A Quiet Place has earned the right to make a more original type movie to put out there, but they're out there and you don't go and see them. And you see it this last couple weekends. The Fall Guy, yes, loosely based on an 80 TV show that most people will have forgotten about and won't even correlate to that movie. Didn't do well in theaters. Planet of the Apes, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes last week, which is kind of trying to reboot the Caesar type franchise, overperformed. You look at Kingdom, you're looking at even Ghostbusters or Kong X Godzilla, did very well. A movie like Abigail, no performance there. Even Challengers underperformed pretty significantly given its budget and stuff like that. Another original type movie. People aren't going to see these original movies, and I'm checking out the box office of If this weekend pretty closely because next week I'm going to be doing by the numbers, a look at original movies since even COVID, and why are we not getting them and why are people not going to them? What has changed in the marketplace so that when people ask and people say they make nothing original anymore, you can just point the finger at them and be like, because you don't go. You only go out for the franchise films. You only go out to see the Marvel film. Or you just stopped going at all. And why are they going to make films that nobody goes to and pays money for? That rant aside, again, I really liked If. I think John Krasinski, while maybe not as great as The Quiet Place overall, delivered a great family film and a great, just enjoyable film overall. And I hope people go and see it and enjoy it like I do, because I had a blast with If. And I couldn't think of any better way to spend my birthday here today. So until next week, where I talk about Survivor, I have Doctor Who coming up as well, for Boom coming up here. A lot of stuff to check out on the channel. But I'll see you in all those other places. And yeah, give If a chance. What if? What if?
And Mom said too much candy isn't good for your tummy, but I said, oh my God.
Wow, my eyes can taste it.
I'm so sorry.
You don't taste that in your eyeballs?